Thank you to Applewhite Games for sponsoring this episode of our podcast. Check out their Kickstarter campaign, Journey to the Centre of Erigarth. It's a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign and setting, featuring maps, character art, a new ooze subrace, and like all of the Applewhite Games campaigns, it includes an adventure written for younger players. Explore a city of criminals, find the lost scholar, and discover the forgotten world hidden at the centre of Erigarth. The Kickstarter ends on the 28th of February. Thanks again to Applewhite Games. Now, we really hope you enjoy this episode.
Into the shop, how did this man know you? And everything you do. It's Yokapoyalela, we came along, but he already knew just what we would do. It's Yokapoyalela. He offered wares again, a parcel for my name. It's Yokapoyalela. A list over a list krill poured, great things krill could not afford. We left onto the blacksmith's forge, onto the blacksmith's forge. A chance to meet a Dunkel at last, a name of great renown. Who'd have thought that such a legend would reside in such a town? Great weapons forged in the Dunkel's fire, a wonderful shopping trip in dice and desire.
What shop is next on our list then? I believe we had the general store that we never went into.
General goods is fine by me. Does anyone have an issue with that?
Unless someone wants some armor, perhaps for a goat, I don't know.
My highest rank was sergeant, so I wouldn't be able to buy anything from the general store.
Oh dear.
Don't lie, we know that you're a private.
That's a Quinch Zinger trademark.
That's not going to become a thing.
He's drifting into bard territory now. He really is multi-classing across all classes. So where do you want to go next, gentlemen?
Gentlemen, we've just spent a tremendous amount of time in a magical shop where nobody purchased anything, in a blacksmith's where nobody actually purchased anything, and now we're going to go to another shop where nobody's going to purchase anything because we don't appear to have any money. Would it not? would it not be wise, instead of going looking in shops, to actually attempt to get some funds in our coffers?
I have a fair amount of money. I'm just picky.
Yes, perhaps we should go back to the board and see what other.
There's nothing on the board. He's taken everything off of it. Empty your pockets out and let's have a look at some leaflets.
Some leaflets.
I'd ordinarily disagree with you, but it's nice to see you being a man of action rather than just talky talk.
Oh, roll for initiative.
There were various signs that I took down from the board. There was restoring the frog. There was somebody who was looking for some herbs and spices, and there were two notices for missing people. There was a 13-year-old girl and a 17-year-old boy. Of all of these things, one of them strikes me as being slightly more time sensitive than the others.
It's the herbs and spices,
yes,
isn't
it's
it?
definitely the herbs and spices.
Seasonal, yes. Perhaps we could kill two birds with one stone if the missing boy and the missing girl are related.
I very much doubt they are. They're from different families. I believe one of them is a dwarf and the other one is not a dwarf.
We could gather some herbs and spices, and Dabov can use them to flavour his nuggies.
In more ways than one.
God, this got crude.
Dabov, you've changed recently. I think the backflips have sent blood rushing to your head.
Oh, they have. And my feet. They're really good backflips. But none around my heart.
Right, so where are we going? Where are we going?
I feel that we should perhaps try to find the parents of these missing young people, and see if we can get some clues as to where they might have gone, and see if we can help to locate them.
Which child? The dwarven child or the not dwarven child?
I mean, if there are two people missing, it might suggest that they could be linked. So we could attempt to solve both simultaneously.
Did I not just say that? I'm confused.
I'm pretty sure you said pick your favourite.
That would obviously be the boy. I mean, what?
We were told that the dwarf boy, his mother is named Alestra, and that the young girl, her parents are Arn and Cyrene. So perhaps we could ask around and see if we could find the parents and see what clues we can gain.
Yes. Who shall we ask for locations to these parents, or is it on the pamphlet?
It doesn't say anything on the signs that we took down.
Perhaps the mayor may be of some help.
Yeah, we could speak to the mayor, or we could speak to Dars at the caravan park.
Yes, he may know the families. I'm open to either of those.
Yes.
Well, should we try at the caravan park? Just because the mayor's
we already have friends there.
Yeah.
Very well, let's go back to the caravan park.
Okay. So is that the plan? Then you're all going to head to to go and see Dars and see if he can direct you.
Spenny hit
Okay. So yeah, you make your way back down the long road towards where you helped out Dars and to get rid of the rats, and as you come towards the caravan park, you see there's one or two actual a couple of extra carts and horses now being stored in the caravan park. So he's already been put to good use since you were last here. As you're approaching, he sort of just lifts his hand in a very genial sort of just like hi and sort of thanks, sort of just just acknowledging that you're there, not sort of trying to beckon you over by any means or anything like that. He's just sort of like being kindly and sort of recognizing you, I guess.
I approach him and say, I saw you were beckoning us over.
Oh no, I was just saying, hi. It's just a pleasantry that some of us do. It's just to sort of acknowledge that somebody we know is approaching and just to say hello.
What angle was he holding his hand up at? Just so I know what type of person I'm dealing with.
Sort of straight up.
So not slightly forward, fingers outstretched.
No. If you could imagine,
Wouldn't want to see.
Stuart would probably imagine this best. If you could imagine like a kid sort of like looking to like ask a question or go to the toilet or something, like almost too high. But it was genuinely just a sort of like high sort of thing, but it's right up.
Stuart doesn't like being associated with those sort of inquiries. I said, I misinterpreted. Anyway, missing kids.
I haven't heard anything about missing kids.
Ooh, he was a bit quick to react.
Whoa, I just said 2 words and you totally just assumed.
Sorry, that is... Whew. Sorry, that is basically the old days coming back of me being on the streets and having to defend myself of any allegations that come my way. That's me. That's my thing that I'm dealing with.
Have you been questioned about missing kids before?
No, but you get a reputation for thievery and stuff, and people just want to label anything at your door, and that is me just trying to make sure that I'm categorically clear from the offset. I was not involved in the disappearance of these children or any children.
How did you know there was more than one? We said there was kids. It's you that implied there were more than one.
The S on the end of kids sort of does the implying now, Quinch.
But we just said kids. He said there were children.
I don't know what the difference is.
I find it best that when denying claims, you ensure that you deny all claims that are allegated towards you.
Why were the rats here?
Shut up, Quinch, shut up. I'm not here to point fingers. We've been asked to help out, and really we just need some direction. Do you know whose children went missing?
Who asked?
You to help? Yes, I do, Krill.
I'm asking the man. We were asked by the notice board. Do you know whose children went missing?
No. Well, I hear rumours, but I don't know exactly whose kids. It's not really. You'd be surprised that I'm not kept informed of all matters in the town.
Listen, I think I look around at the guys. Is this line of questioning a bit fruitless? Should we just carry on?
I mean, you've just asked him if he knows whose kids are missing. You could just say, Dweezer, what could he say?
What we could say to him, we could say to him, do you know where we could find Arn and Cyrene Widden's house, or perhaps Alestra Olga's house?
This is why you're the talky guy and I'm the man of action. And he just stands there and just flexes his massive biceps that are about the size of everyone here.
I just stand there and flex my dissonant whispers.
Damn off does a backflip.
Athletics check, please. No, I'm not going to make you do that unless it's serious. Dar says to you, Widden's. No, I don't. Widden's name doesn't ring a bell, but certainly can point you in the direction of Lestra. She's actually, well, I don't know where she lives, but she's the current beau of our general store owner, Narth. So, that would be probably a good place to start.
Before we go, Dars, what's down the well?
Water.
Prove it.
Okay.
Because
See
I'm
that well?
thirsty.
See that well over there?
Yes.
Go and look in it.
Okay, Quinch goes and looks in it.
Can I have a perception check, please?
Of course, sir. 4.
4. You look in and you see a fluid.
Okay, I walk back to the gang.
There's liquid down there. It doesn't mean that the children aren't definitely down there and drowned, but it's one to bear in mind.
You're a bit of a pessimist.
I didn't piss in it, no, and I'm disappointed you would think I did.
God, Jesus Christ. Okay. Is there anything else you wish to discuss with Dars?
No, I don't think so. Is there? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your help, Dars. See, I told you. I told you we should have gone to the general store.
Just a little bit, just a little behind the scenes for the listeners. Actually, me earlier today. Let's try and avoid a bit of shopping today. Let's have some adventure immediately. I'm going to direct you to the place where you could do some more shopping. There you go. Right. So yeah, you want to go to the general store? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Anything else you want?
Why are we going to the general store?
Sam, this right. So Stuart does the talkie. Maybe you should do the listeny.
Right.
Alestra, the mother of the dwarf boy, is having it off with Narth, who runs the general store.
Oh, excellent.
There we go.
Krill
And we're
counts his
all-
money. Krill counts his money as we walk.
Weird flex. Right, so you generally remember where the general store was. Generally, brilliant. So it's a little bit more south towards, and it's basically where you stumbled upon Yoka, pretty much directly opposite. And as you're approaching, you see the sign on front of a, fairly, I would say modest, that's probably the wrong word to use, but just a non-outstanding building. And there's a sign on the outside that says, "The Lion's Share, come get your goods." And, so are you entering?
Just quick question. Are we specifically not allowing ourselves to shop then?
You can shop if you want to.
Don't know, I feel like I might get in trouble.
I'm going to. If we're in the shop anyway, I might ask about some armor.
Yeah, feel free. That's absolutely. I'm not Listen. I'm not railroading anyone. I never said anyone couldn't go shopping. I just said from a podcast point of view, it might be cool just to do some non-shopping for a few episodes.
That's fine. I've got a very quick request. It'll probably be a yes or no answer. Probably not even gonna haggle. I'll just ask if someone's got it and buy it and then be done.
Should we go in the shop then, rather than standing outside the shop talking about what we're going to do when we're in the shop?
Let's tactize our approach to this monetary purchase
Last time we
transaction.
tactized an approach, our plans got totally shat on.
Well, should we try the same thing again? Should we try the Greg is a VIP ruse that didn't work last time?
I mean, no. I'm keen to just.
Are we not primarily here for the missing children?
Not to get a bargain.
Just one more thing. Have you got any pens?
So, are we just going in?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I walk in first because I want to.
Shit before travel.
I say, what do I see? I go in. What do I see?
You walk in and you see a fairly well organised and pretty well stocked general store. There are two layers, 2 floors. Layers, brilliant. There are 2 layers to this building. There are 2 floors to this building. The higher one is more of a gallery. It's not like a full floor. You can sort of see upstairs.
Like a mezzanine level.
Mezzanine, that's the word I was looking for, not gallery. A mezzanine level. Downstairs appears to be general equipment. Your usual sort of adventuring gear, ropes and tarpaulin. No, I don't know what I'm saying. But upstairs appears to be sort of chained off at the top of the stairs, and behind that chain appears to be along the wall like weapons and armor. It's not like fully stocked. It's not like, bearing in mind you've just come from Harriet's, who's obviously a proper blacksmith and everything. This is more just a general sort of get what you need, get what you want sort of thing. And as you walk in, there is actually, as you're walking in, a couple of customers are leaving, coincidentally, and stood sort of counting some money in his hand is a rather good-looking gentleman, a man of probably around 30 years old, quite well dressed.
My ears are burning.
And very sort of pristine facial hair, coiffed hair, good-looking guy.
Fucking hell, my ears are burning.
Crow jumps in. Hello, I've talked for about 2 episodes now, so I need to just get this out of the way very quickly. Do you have a portable ram for sale?
The shopkeeper is stunned with the request.
he is silent with the request. A portable ram. I might have one of those. I mean, are you thinking of knocking in some doors? Are you...
I put my shoulder out on a door before, so I'd really just try and... My doctor recommended I get a portable ram.
Interesting. A doctor recommended you get a... It's quite the strange thing that a doctor would recommend if you're knocking through doors. But no, you're actually...
He understands my line of work.
Let me just have a quick look for you. And he's sort of like... He's looking around the walls and thinking, where would I have kept my portable ram if I had one? And he's sort of looking around. It's organised, but it's not tidy by any means. And he goes, yes. And he sculls off and he comes back and he goes, yeah, I do actually have one here. It's actually brand new, never been used. And it's 4 gold pieces.
Absolutely done. I hand over 4 gold pieces.
Sorry, no, 1,000 gold pieces. I do apologise. Sorry, it's
easy mistake to make.
Yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
I am indeed fucking with you. I do apologise. I like to just do that with some of the new customers. My name is Narth.
Nice to meet you. What I do, I hand him the 4 gold pieces. I take the portable ram and I strap it to Sebastian, my other portable ram. No, okay.
And
I feel like we're gonna bar you from using that joke again.
Oh.
At least you got a fucking reaction.
Oh no, I think we're all just stunned. I think speaking personally, I had thoughts of like animal abuse and other such things.
I can't wait for this guy to realise that you've come to ask about the missing children. Your first request was about a portable ram. Like that was the more pressing thing.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the ram. I'll be stepping back now. The talkie guys here.
Yeah, and yes.
So this gentleman's name is you're Narth, right? Is that correct?
That's correct. My name is Narth Tesrin. I'm one of the best merchants this side of the river. You pick which river.
Well, I mean, you're a very fancy gentleman. I can see why someone such as Estrella would be interested in you.
Who, sorry?
What's her name, Estrella?
No,
sorry.
Make this
That's
up.
the Spanish beer.
That's what threw me off.
I whisper to Gregomel, Alestra.
Alestra, even, sorry. Too many times down the goblin.
My beloved Alestra, you know Ali.
Yeah, well, we don't know her directly, but we saw her ad on the local board, and we've come to...
This conversation's off to a bad start.
What is she advertising?
Well, she was advertising for some help, you see, for we are under the impression that there's a missing boy.
This is why we let Dweezil talk.
Hey, I'm very talky.
We've proven there's a lot of reasons we let Dweezil talk.
And yet you still don't. So he says, oh, yes, right, yes, oh, God, yes, terrible business. Yes, Torrent went missing a little while ago. I mean, I can talk you through it, but I can get Alestra if you'd rather speak to her directly. Obviously, he's not my son. He's her son.
I feel from the amount of information I'm getting from you, it'd be better off with her. Yes, if you could run off and grab her, that would be great.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. And he dashes out the back. There's a curtain leading off into the background, leaving you all alone in the shop. So please don't steal anything. And he dashes off, and you hear some sort of exactly the rogue said. And you hear some whispered voices, and just you don't hear much. Actually, roll me a perception check.
16 plus 2, 18.
Okay. So yeah, Greg with his aged ears doesn't hear a lot, but you just hear like a woman's voice going, "Do they know anything about Torrent? Do they know where he is?" And that's basically the most you can hear off her. That's the most detail you get out of her. And then a few seconds pass, and eventually Narth sort of comes back through the curtain, and he holds it to one side, and walking through is a dwarf. A dwarven lady, and given how attractive Narth has presented himself, Alestra, not so much. She is obviously dwarf, so she's quite short, but she's very very squat even for a dwarf. Not particularly good looking. Couple of scars across her face. walking with a bit of a waddle. You wouldn't necessarily have put these two together.
Do you say with a waddle?
Can I compliment her and see how he reacts? So can I sort of say, what a stunning visage of a woman, or of a dwarf woman, and then just observe him?
Okay. Can you... Do I want to make you roll a deception check? Can you roll me...
Let him act it out properly, and then we'll judge him on it.
Fuck off.
Let the DM be the judge, please. So you say, what a visage of a woman, just as a woman walks through the curtains. That's okay. Could you roll me a charisma? Not a save, just a charisma check, please.
Oh, not great. 8. But I want to observe him to see if there's any level of affection coming from him.
That's fine. All right, you roll. Can you roll me a perception then as well at the same time?
Oh, at least that's a 9 this time. So that's 11.
Okay. So the first thing is, you say what a visage of a woman, and it's your words. I don't know if it's because you say it too quickly as she walks through the curtain, and maybe you don't give it enough consideration, or it doesn't feel like it's sincere. So it's no party in this room believes the words that you've said. However, Narth does at the very least. He has like a smug grin on his face, which just sort of like broadens a little bit, almost suggesting, yes, she is, and yes, she's mine, or something along those lines. He's sort of very proud of the woman next to him.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
Yep.
So she walks through and she says, I'm Alestra. I understand that you might know something about Torrent.
Quite the contrary, I'm afraid. We've come to find out some information in regards to your advert for help.
Oh dear. I'd got my hopes up. He's been gone for a little while, and I just thought this was the word that I was waiting to hear. Do you have children yourself?
I mean, if you count Quinch over there, then yes.
Oh, and has he ever gone missing?
Under a table once.
I was going to say, he gets in more trouble than any of the young scallywags around here, let me tell you. Scallywags? Maybe I should have said scamps. I don't know. Scallywags is a bit piratey.
So you wouldn't know what it's like to basically be, without your kids. It's a horrible feeling when they go missing. You just don't know. You don't know I almost would rather hear the worst to at least know what's happened to him. It's just a terrible thing. And so when I heard that you were here to talk about him, oh dearie me, I just thought that this was what I needed to hear.
Yes, but on the bright side, your luck is here to change because the circus has arrived.
I don't need to go to the circus. I'm too depressed to go to a circus right now.
That's good, because the circus has come to you. Dabov does a backflip.
Can I have a athletic roll, please? Listen, you can't just do backflips in every conversation and expect to get away with it.
Do I get advantage on backflips still?
Does it not have an impact on the conversation?
It might do. Let's see what happens. I would say this is not a particularly large shop, and it is, stocked quite well. So I'm going to say it's a flat.
19.
Oh, you do a lovely backflip. You do knock a lantern that's sort of balancing precariously on one of the shelves, and it does that thing where it just sort of just wobbles a little bit, and it looks like it's going to fall over, and it just sort of but it just sort of does a little circular motion, and then it just comes to a beautiful stop.
Do any sparks fly when I kicked it?
only in Alestra's heart.
Any doves released?
No, nothing of the sort. And both Narth and both Narth and Alestra look at you very confused. And Alestra just says, "I don't know why you backflipped in this right now."
Excuse
I can do it
the
again.
idiot. Like I said, many a child in our party, but luckily you have fine, distinguished young men such as myself. Daroff is merely our entourage.
Right. So yes. Anyway,
I mean,
circuses and backflips.
Perhaps my friend Dweezil could explain why we're here a bit better than me.
Dabov just
It's
tucks
funny.
one of his nuggies back in his pocket and just thinks, nah, save that for another time.
Did the nugget come loose when you did the backflip?
There's just nuggies everywhere. What do you think hit the lantern?
Right. I need to homebrew an attack for Dabov, which is backflip nuggies. It's a projectile
Cloud
attack.
of nuggies.
Finger flicking good.
Whee.
Oh, brilliant.
Well done. Right. Yes. So Torrent, what can I? If you're not here to tell me where he is, then what can I do for you?
My good lady, we're here to help. We're here to help you. We're here to find Torrent. But before we can try to find him, we need to know where to start. We need to know the circumstances around his disappearance. How long has he been missing?
I wish I knew. If I'm honest,
The boy's 17. He's an adult. Did Torrent live with you prior to his disappearance?
I don't wish to talk about it, but we have an unconventional family. His dad didn't. Sorry, he didn't like it when we left his father and we moved all this way, and he's been rebelling as many teenagers do, and he decided that he didn't. When I met Narth and I moved in with him, he decided that it was time for him to leave, and he left us. And he had nowhere else to go. He had no money, so he's been living on the streets for a while. But he's always kept in contact, and he's always kept close, and we've always been able to know where he is. But I'd never wanted to try and force him home, and he one day disappeared. I don't know when that was. I don't know how that was. He just is no longer on the streets of Tribor, and I don't believe that he would have gone anywhere else. Certainly not without telling us.
When's the last time you saw him?
About 3 weeks ago.
Can I observe the other guy while she's telling that story? Does he seem upset or nonchalant?
God, Dabov hates Narth.
There's something weird going on.
Just wants to fuck his missus.
Yeah. So as you look at him, he's quite sort of stoic, I guess. He's not saying anything. He's just letting his partner speak. He's not overly emotional. But he's also not disinterested. It's obviously a conversation he's been present for a few times. Lestra would have spoken to the local guards and other people about it, and he's just letting her tell her story. If you want to roll an insight to see if there's any more to that.
Yeah, I want to see if he seems concerned for the welfare of the son.
Okay, go for it.
So what role was that? Sorry.
Insight.
I mean, he didn't particularly seem.
What I would say
upset.
what I would say is if you want to do an insight, you might want to speak to him directly or ask him a question or something like that. So it's whether you want to do that now or whether you want to hold off. It's up to you.
I'd like to ask him, and when was the last time you saw or communicated with the son?
Torrent. Well, I tend to let Alestra deal with him. He, as she said, he had difficulties dealing with my relationship with his mother, and it was not long after that he decided to move out. I don't think there's a bad relationship between us by any means, but clearly he's upset about everything going on, and we decided to. We as a couple decided to let him have his space, and I'm respecting that, and certainly not going to be out there chasing him. I would see him in the street, of course. Like Alestra says, he's been living on the street. He's been amongst our townspeople, and as with all small towns, you bump into people, and I would have seen him around town several times a week. But when was the last time I saw him? I couldn't tell you.
So, Alestra, you're happy, you're okay with him being homeless as long as he's homeless here?
So before I answer that, Luke, did you want to do an insight roll on that?
Yeah, just to see if I detect any sort of anything odd about him. 7.
As far as you can tell, he seems on the up and up. You can't tell that there's anything.
Nothing suspicious there.
Any deception there at all? No.
Cool.
And Krill, what did you say? Sorry, you said you're happy for him. So yeah, Alestra says, "Well, I'm not happy. I think happy is the wrong word, but
unaffected by then."
Again, I feel like you're simplifying this a lot. Families are complicated. Creatures are complicated. You're not a dwarf, so therefore you don't understand dwarves the same way I wouldn't expect to understand half orcs.
Did he have any friends or people that he spoke to?
He was generally liked around town. Did he have friends? Not really. I don't know how long you've been in town, but we don't have a large, homeless community. It's not like there's lots of other homeless people that he would have been, keeping track with. So no, I don't know. And just at that point, Narth just puts his hand on Alestra's shoulder, and he says, "Do you think you should tell them about?" And she looks up at him and says, "Possibly."
Thank you for listening to Dice and Desire. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review in your favourite podcast app. In between episodes, you can interact with us on Twitter and Instagram @Dice and Desire.